5 years ago, my next guest was fighting in Operation Iraqi Freedom. Today, he's watching Iraq fall apart and wondering what the heck happened. Scott Perry is an Iraq War veteran. He's also a Republican congressman from Pennsylvania. Congressman, what do you think? What do we do?
Well, I was just listening to your show a little bit, and I just want to connect the dots for people with this foreign policy and domestic policy. How does it all add up? If we had the Keystone Pipeline being constructed right now, maybe we wouldn't be so concerned about Iraq oil. That having been said, I'm just pretty disgusted about it. You know, the task force, we flew to Camp Bucca every day. And people have to understand, when you let bad people out of prison and just give them a pass to go anywhere and do anything, this is what you get. That's number one. Number two, I wrote an op-ed in the local paper about this 6 months ago. This breathtakingly inept administration regarding foreign policy could have seen this like anybody else did a mile away. We sat here and did nothing. It's been coming, and now it's here. We have no good options. And so we don't really have a lot of choices except to sit and watch it burn down and watch the sacrifices of many men and women and their families be squandered for absolutely nothing except the political narrative, which is we want to get out of Iraq and we want to disengage from the world, that this president and this administration has been touting around for the last 6 years.
Now, I don't want to be too jaded, Congressman, but what if that was the intention all along? The president, as a senator, and beforehand was against our getting involved in Iraq, wasn't too keen to the degree we were getting involved in Afghanistan. So there's very little reason for him, as well as he does read the American sentiment on war fatigue,
right,
to risk getting involved again, even with airstrikes. What do you think?
Sure. And I got to tell you, I agree with him. I don't want to see one of our pilots get stuck on the ground from some of the weapons that we left behind that these folks have now. So I agree with them there. I guess my point is that the president got a situation which he didn't necessarily agree with, but it's his job to do the best thing he can and secure the peace that was earned by his countrymen and by the citizens who fought in that war, whether they agreed with it or not. Securing the peace is important to validate and to honor the sacrifices that were made to get there. Walking away, I mean, I'm sure we all are war fatigued, but now what do we have? Now we got more insurgents. Now we got more of these crazy jihadists looking to attack American interests abroad. And it's already documented, these folks in Iraq want to and have already been working on attacking America. So now we have to deal with that anyhow.
So you think then we should have kept
the peace?
I'm sorry, sir. Do you think we should have kept the contingency force? Some kept it as low as 9,000, others up to 15,000. That would be there, much as we still have forces in South Korea today.
I think we should have been able to work towards a BSA. I think it's all too convenient to walk away from it. I don't fault the administration completely. I think Maliki has some part in that. But somebody has to be the adult in the room, and that's where America comes in. And the president should have ensured we had a BSA and that we secured the peace. And he did not do that, and now we're reaping the benefits of that action.
Real quickly, Congressman, I'm sorry to skip around here, but Sergeant Bergdahl, we're learning a little bit. I'm talking about when you were involved in Iraq 5 years ago. That was about the time he was captured, and we're told that he was 2 years in captivity, that it was very tough for him. Some of the dribblings were getting out. What do you make of that and him?
Well, listen, I don't want to comment on his service. We'll find out, I guess, soon enough. What I am concerned about is that the fact that, at least on open source media, we knew where Bergdahl was for some period of time, and if that's the case, why didn't we just go get him? Why did we need to let more terrorists out on the street to attack American interests to get him? Every soldier knows that we don't want to leave anybody behind, and we'll come get them if we can. But every soldier also knows that we're not going to trade terrorists for you if you are held captive. We're going to negotiate and do the things like we did at the end of every single war, including Vietnam. But negotiating with terrorists and making the world and America less safe is not an option. That's why you fight in the first place.
Congressman, thank you, and thank you for your service.
Thank you.